Conversations with Z.
Hi guys, it's that time of the month again. Yes, it's production review time right here on Conversations with Z with myself, Zamakacheni, and of course my good friend Jabu.
We're back again.
We are back at it again, doing what we do best. Listen to me, it's our second episode and I'm already saying we're doing what we do best. The confidence.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
How are you? How are you
I'm
feeling?
great, and you?
How are you keeping?
I'm great. Keeping up, watching a lot of shows. Showmax is actually releasing a lot of shows, which is actually great also.
Keeping you busy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I see the shades of blue that we have going on. Blue is actually my favorite color.
The colors are communicating.
Yes, the combos are communicating indeed. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. So you know how Jabu and I do on this feature. This is the time when we look at a South African production and we kind of, look at various aspects of it. And then, of course, we round off by normally just giving a rating. And then obviously also then just inviting you to weigh in with your views. So yeah, once we're done, please do share your comments. Either agree with us or disagree with us. We would love to get your views as well. Jabu, what are we talking about today?
Spinners.
Away.
Yeah, I mean that's a very exciting show. I get why you're saying that.
Yeah. So for those of you who haven't maybe had the opportunity to watch it, Spinners is currently showing on Showmax. And it's actually a story about Ethan. Ethan is a 17-year-old boy who works for a local gang. He finds himself working for a local gang. And he's doing this as he's trying to build a life for him and his younger brother, Byron. And Ethan, just out of sort of navigating through life, he actually discovers a way out of this gangsterism life that he's living. He's introduced to a group of friends who are involved in spinning. And that then becomes, sort of like a beacon of hope for Ethan, and he starts getting involved in that. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what Spinners is about. So Spinners is actually directed by Yakubawa, and co-produced by Lokano as well as Ramadan Suleiman. So Ramadan actually did a Zulu Love Letter.
Wow.
I don't know if you got to watch that, Jabu.
I've actually seen clips of it, but I've never watched it. But I know that a lot of people actually do like it also.
Yes. Okay, so getting into the exciting bit, what was your view, as Jabu? What was your view of Spinners? What was your impression? And this is where I now want to hear about your impression overall. So what did you think of the show? What did you think of the cast? What did you think of the soundtrack? Like everything.
Everything, yeah.
I want to know what you thought.
Just to add on what you'd said about the show, Spinners being about Ethan and just navigating life, there's gangsterism going on and everything else. And I do want to add that Ethan grew up very fast for a kid. I mean, he was carrying a lot of things on his shoulders for a kid his age. He was actually dealing with a lot. I mean, his mother being a drug addict after losing his father and having to take care of his little brother, which is one of the saddest part of the story. But what I like about Ethan was the fact that he was relentless. He kept on going and going and going. Even in the most difficult situations, he would just come out stronger, better than ever. He would do bad things. Yes, at the end of the day, he was doing it to protect his family. I'm not justifying what he did. But Ethan was like, Ethan is powerful in a way, and he did so well in terms of life. And then not dwelling too much on the story and just talking about how the show was and everything else. Spinners is a masterpiece. It's very beautiful. And for those who've never watched it, please do watch it. We probably gave you a lot of spoilers, but do actually watch it. It's actually a good show. So Spinners is actually one of the best shows on Showmax. And Spinners felt like it's a taste of what's more to come on Showmax in terms of brilliant shows. Because, I mean, Showmax just recently relaunched and Spinners was launched before that. But Spinners is like a high-budget, brilliantly short, well-written show with an incredible cast. I like the fact that we get to see people of different color playing such brilliant characters, because we normally see our people, my skin, or now we see colored people get
Yes.
to star in big shows like Spinners,
Yeah.
and it's actually incredible. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of legendary actors. I mean, Hercules has been on our screens for many years, and he killed that role also. Even the guy who was playing Damien, he killed that role. Even Ethan, as Ethan is a big character on the show, killed that role, and the mother, and everyone else basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, storyline wise, great. Production wise, great. Cast wise, great. I like the fact that it's 8 episodes, but all of them actually worth it to watch.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, I pretty much agree with you, Jabu. I also found the production to be very good, well executed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the cast is impressive, and the story took you in, which I think is what you're mentioning. The story really takes you in.
Yeah.
I remember, because when I watch, I kind of now make notes per episode, you know. And what I had for episode 1 was that it was very sad. It was very sad. I think it's the one where Ethan's brought his brother a birthday gift. And I think at that point I was still trying to figure out what's happening. Is
That
it his
kid has seen a
brother?
lot, eh?
I'm like, is he the father? I'm like, but he can't be the father. He's too young. He's wearing school uniform.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so it's a brother. Okay. But it's episode 1 was really quite sad. And it's realistic, right? Because I think I like what you're saying when you're saying that, you know, we're getting to see for a change, we're getting to see the colored community getting representation. And I believe these are real stories. I think that they are really telling stories that are happening
True.
out there in these types of communities. So I think it's interesting to be able to get insights into Uguti, what goes on, right? Because I think sometimes you get so caught up in your life and in what's happening in and around you that you forget that this
We
is
all
how some
suffer
people
differently,
are.
yeah.
Because I recall when I was watching the gangs, the rivalry amongst the gangs, and at some point they met because they were putting together a truce. And I think for me it was like, you know, we forget that gangsterism is out there. Gangsterism is a thing. And this is some people's reality, right? So it was good for me.
And it was
to
not
watch.
glamorized.
No, it wasn't glamorized.
They just showed us the raw version of the
Yes,
story.
Yes, so I quite like that. And then just in terms of, because where I want us to sort of go next is, I want us to then take a look at, you know, the cast. And I'm quite keen to hear who your top performers were.
Yeah,
I've got mine. I aimed for like a top 3, but I've got a top 4. There's 4 individuals that I really just want to highlight. But you've already mentioned Hercules. So Hercules is actually played by Brendan Daniels. And you are spot on. He absolutely did well in the character. And actually, funny enough, for me, Hercules came out stronger than a Damien, who's supposed to be the boss. But I don't know if it's because we are encountering Damien at a time where he is facing a chronic illness.
I think that's the reason why you'd say Hercules would, in terms of performance wise, he would be your favorite over Damien. Because Damien is sick. He's going through a lot. He's hiding things from his family. He's hiding things from Hercules also, who he's very close with.
Yeah.
And dealing with that illness on its own, he wasn't going to act all macho and powerful and guns blazing and stuff like that. He's suffering. So he
just didn't give me that I'm the boss, I'm the
He
gang
was scary
leader.
though. He was scary though.
Where was he
For
scary,
me,
Jabu?
there was a time where him and Ethan met. I think they were under a bridge or they were by the sea or something like that. That was a scary moment.
Yeah, and then Ethan is like, Damien, please.
Yes, that was scary
Okay.
also.
But I don't know. For me, Hercules, who was portrayed by Brendan Daniels, he still just for me was the more ruthless one. And I mean, I've seen Brendan in a couple of productions, and I don't know. I even feel like he's being typecast, because I kind of feel like
He's
now
been doing a lot of
he's
gangster
now just
stuff.
because I think he's on Unseen as well.
Yes, and the cop. Was it the cop? There's one of the actors on the show. He's also on Unseen.
Yeah.
Who else? I think he was on Four Corners. There was a movie called Four Corners about gangster. I could be wrong. But Four Corners. I think there was a movie about gangsterism called Four
Yeah.
Corners. He was also there on it.
Yeah, so I love Brendan's work. Absolutely love his work. I would just love to see him play a different character, because I feel like I've seen quite a lot of his work where he's sort of portraying this gangster or this criminal, you know. So it would be interesting to see him in something different. But yes, before we go into my top performers, who stood out for you from a performance perspective?
What is it? Wow, my English is going away.
It's
So, yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
The English bundles are depleted. It's allowed.
So yeah, top performance for me definitely will be Ethan. Ethan is like top there. He's top in terms of how he portrayed that character, all the emotions and everything else. There's a lot of emotional episodes on Spinners. My favorite episode on Spinners, where it made me make this decision that, you know what, these two people are actually the best for me. It's Ethan and his mother. His mother killed it. Kayla, who's the mother on the show. They both killed it. There was a point where they were about to die, and they were like, it's a night scene, and they were in like a bush or something, and they were about to die. And then the mother just did something. That was the best episode for me. My mother doesn't even watch that many shows. I remember watching that episode. My mother was like, she walked in, she sat down, she watched it. She watched the entire episode with me, and she was like, what's going on? What's going to happen to this boy? She was worried about Ethan, and that shows you how great the story is and the cast is on its own.
It's that whole thing that I was talking about. It takes you in.
Yeah, it does.
You kind of just like, okay, what's happening next? But I love what you said. So Ethan's mom is actually Kayla, who is played by Melanie Dubois. And then Ethan is portrayed by Kentona James.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just sharing their real names there for those who haven't watched.
Yeah.
So it was those top two for you.
Those were the top two for me.
Okay.
Definitely.
So it's so in terms of the cast, it was quite a tight one. So I initially was like, I wanted to pick my top three, and then I also then just added a fourth one. So I really wanted to add Ukatlego Lebohang, who portrays Upumeza. She plays the part of Upumeza Makeba. And I think for me, what was refreshing about her was we've just seen her on Your Christmas. So in a very quirky,
That was very light.
light,
Yeah.
fun type of role. So for me, seeing her portray the serious character who wants justice, you know, who wants to follow the law,
Who's sympathetic.
who's
also.
sympathetic, because
Yeah.
she's very caring towards Ethan,
Yeah.
and you know, is mindful of the fact that this is just a boy. So I really enjoyed seeing her in portraying this role, and I think for me, it gave me, you know, I walked away feeling okay. So there's quite a bit of depth in her as an actress.
She has range. People.
She has range, right?
She has
has range. So I liked seeing her play that part. So she stood out for me. And then my other the other three of my top four, Brendan as well, Hercules, like I said, he really, when he speaks, like, uyathuka, you know, you really get scared, and he's ruthless. I mean, I feel like we've given the story away, so I don't want to talk too much, but I mean, the portrayal at the end, he's ruthless, right? And he's quite consistent in that, so very impressive. And then I want to speak last on Kentona. Who's my other person now? Shane. So I know Shane's character is, you know, is the good friend. He sticks up for his friend. And I mean, we see Shane even like going against his father, you know, at some points, because he's trying to do what's right for his friend. So I love Dylan's work. I'm his fan from Blood
Very
and Water.
different from what he's played. Dylan did a good job on Blood and Water playing this socially awkward kid
Yes.
to what he was playing on Spinners.
Yes, so I'm a fan of his work from Blood and Water. So
Yeah.
even here now with Spinners, I enjoyed his work as
Mm-hmm.
well. And then of course, I mean, Okantona, I would give him 10 out of 10 for playing the part of Ethan. To your point, he was able to carry out. I mean, I think even the spinning side of it. I
The
think
stunts, I
based-
wish I was there
Yeah.
behind the scenes because I'm very interested on the process that
Yeah.
that they took in terms of driving the cars. I'm pretty sure they probably had stunt doubles.
I think Ethan Cantona rather still did most of. They did have stunt doubles, but based on what I've read, I think he still did quite a bit of it himself.
Wow.
But other than that, he was amazing. I mean, carrying out these emotions, very believable. Again, you could see the pain where there was pain. And to your point, he fought. He fought, and I think he's quite smart as well.
Very smart,
He's
yeah.
smart as well. We saw him sort of come up with solutions. So yeah, those would be my top 4 performers.
I actually forgot to add one of the characters. So if you remember at the beginning, I think the first episode, there was a mentally challenged kid.
Percy.
Yes, and the mother. I'm a big fan of that lady, by the way.
Yes.
She did a good job. She did a
I
good
agree
job.
with you. I remember, njengoba bengithi kuwe, I now sort of have notes per episode. After the Percy had passed on, I can't remember what episode number it was, but I specifically said, this lady is a great actress. She was amazing. Her
Yeah.
grief.
You felt it.
You felt it.
Yeah.
Those episodes where she was crying, felt it. And I'm a mother now, so those kind of things just hit differently when you become a mom. So I'm completely with you on that one.
Yeah.
Definitely aligned.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I mean, even the actors who play the smallest parts. I know actors say there's no small part or anything like that. Everyone who was there actually just contributed in an incredible way in terms of how they played the characters and everything else.
Because even the 2 funny guys. I mean, there was one whose tummy was forever running.
And the boys' night when they would like slip on
Yeah.
the floor and just chat
Yeah.
as young boys and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That was fun to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
there's many things that you do relate to in terms
Yeah.
of Spinners, and you can't really say Spinners because a gangster show. Not many people can relate to it, but there's
Yeah.
other people who see it other ways because there's probably
Yes.
kids who do raise their own siblings,
Yeah.
and because of certain reasons. So it does really, you can really connect with the show anyhow, basically.
Yeah. And before we get rating, is there anything else that stood out for you? Is there anything else that you wanted to add? So I wanted to mention that Reddy D was on there. So for me, the oldie, I'm now giving my age away. I can already tell by the expression of your face that you don't know who Reddy D
I have heard
is.
I've heard the name before, like trying to remember. Wasn't he the commentator?
Yes.
Yes.
So Reddy D was there, so that was quite cool. Yeah.
What else for me? Everything was great. Like everything was great. Remember that scene when they tried to impress the judge? They literally went
when
to
they
his
literally
house.
went to his house.
That
Yeah.
was good also. That was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But overall, that's definitely a 10 out of 10 type of show.
And then tell me, Jabu, do you think there'll be a season 2?
Based on the ending, definitely. But I'm hoping that they don't rush it. Showmax, please. don't rush it. Like, even if you take 2 years, it's fine. As long as you just make sure that it's well written and well shot and everything else, then it's fine.
Yeah. I think when you start off like this, then the follow up or the follow on, it's the expectations are then just quite high.
Yeah.
Because the first one was quite amazing. So okay, if that's the case, then let's get rating. I'm quite interested to see how it goes with the ratings part.
I mean, I've already given it away, but yeah. might as
You've
well
given
just
yours away.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's all right.
yeah, this is going to be interesting. And my daughter also did a bit of art on here. So, yeah.
So,
Okay.
mine seems to be done. So yeah.
So a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I'll give it an 8.5. I know it doesn't look like an 8.5, but it is. It's a combination of of my daughter's art and my not so good handwriting. So it's an 8.5. Sure. I'm now trying to think why it's an 8.5 and not a 10. But it was impressive, but I would want to give it an 8.5.
I would say if I didn't give it a full point, like you said, 8.5. I would say the only thing that I didn't like was they didn't explore much in terms of the new cop storyline. Like she was there. You could
Pumeza.
you could see she was there. But I felt like they didn't give her enough. Like they didn't do much with her character. But maybe season 2, maybe that's when they'll explore more of her, because now obviously she's going to be handling the case. But by then she probably would have been well trained enough to like handle such cases now. Because she was under the shade of that cop.
Yeah.
And obviously she was learning from him. But hopefully they do explore that. I'm interested to see.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Spinners, done.
Yes.
If you haven't watched it, please take time out, watch it. If you have watched it, please leave your comments below. Share with us what your overall feeling was about the production. Tell us who your favorite actor or actress was. And what do you think? Do you think there'll be a season 2? But for now, Jabu and I, we are going to go away, grab some popcorn, and do what we do best.
On to the next one.
Chill, and on to the next one. And we'll be back again next month with another production review. Any
Awesome.
parting shots, Jabu?
Shout out, guys. Do watch everything that's coming out. It's great that the South African industry is getting a lot of shows. So, yeah, shout out.
Bye, guys.
Bye.